Welcome back to me, this stream. And hello, Mike. Hello, how are you? Hola. I don't know where my music's coming from. There we go. And turn it on for you guys. And my favourite playlist again, which is very quiet in my ears. I had the sound right the way down for me in my ears because I was playing Phasmophobia. So that's just not great for my ears. It's a terrifying game, especially when you can hear all the audio in it. Oh, so we're back. Do you know, when I was doing my streams on the Wednesdays and the Sundays, it always felt like the stream came around like so fast. But see, like the last couple of weeks, whilst I've been doing my streams on the Saturday and then the Wednesday, it just feels like there's like this huge amount of time between my last stream and this stream. What is it? But Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's actually only 3 days, but it feels like so much longer. But we are back, and I have not done any drawing since Saturday. I've still got Tifa on the go. Kind of want to do some of Juvia, maybe. I don't know, maybe Juvia. But definitely do more of Tifa. I've got shit ton of hair to do on her. And I have a lot of stuff in my brain that I want to get out. Oh, dang it, I'm not recording. There we go. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I want to think of, like, talk about. But mostly it's just anime. What can I say? I like anime. One day I'll have like more interesting, well, not. I'll have a bigger variety of conversations. I try not to really look at my phone all that much whilst I'm streaming, but my sister just messaged me with a screenshot of the Final Fantasy game coming out. I didn't realise it was coming out at the end of February, so I'm very excited for the Final Fantasy game. But I was like, oh, I don't have a PS5, I can't play it. I didn't realise it was coming out on flipping PC as well, so now I can play it. I can actually be part of the crew and play it. I'm so excited. This is amazing. I don't even know what type of juice it is, but it's called Fruit Twist. It's brilliant. So yeah, one day I will have more variety of conversation topics, but right now, just anime. So I hope you enjoy anime. Because that is what's on my brain. That and kind of Final Fantasy is kind of on my brain right now a lot because, well, I'm drawing Tifa, so. Also, I'm not too keen on these ears. I'm going to put these ones on. I have 2 orange sets. I think I'm going to put on my white and orange ones because they're very cute. And they come down. There we go. Done. These are actually for this Among Us thing. Oh no, it's not fitting now. There we go. So yeah, I have been just thinking about nothing but anime this whole week. It's been brilliant. Well, actually, been kind of putting me off work. Not really. You know, you're sitting, you're working away, and you're doing whatever, and then in the back of your mind, you're like, but Tifa though. I've just been there's drawings have been in my brain for this whole week because I've not been doing drawing. I've been editing. I forget how long it takes me to actually edit a drawing, so I end up procrastinating, and then it's like, oh, I've got 2 weeks to do 30 hours worth of editing, and it's a lot. So, where are we? Let's head on over to drawing. Oh, it's not there. There it is. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do Juvia and I want to do Tifa. I want to do them both, honestly. Let's jump into Tifa. I'm so far through it already. I might as well get into Tifa. I just realised I don't like her leg here. Oh, where's my... There it is. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be working on for a little while. I'm gonna have to mute my sister. She's honestly like the backbone of my whole like drawing everything, to be honest. But when I'm live, she likes to message a lot about like stuff that I want to talk about. It's like, God damn it, I can't talk about it right now. I'm waiting for like one day she turns around and she's like, oh, do you want to play Phasmophobia tonight? And I'm sitting there going, I'm streaming, I can't. So yeah, I'm going to start with Tifa tonight. It's very, very hot in my house, by the way. Like, very hot in my house. I'm already sweaty. Which is great for makeup, yay! Okay, I did this boot last time. I am still insanely proud of the boot. I kind of want to change a couple of things about it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it as it is. I kind of want to work a little bit on her, like, her hand here, because this was an addition, as you can see. It's very, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It is the best hand I've ever drawn in my life. But no, this was just last stream. I was like, do you know what? I think I want to put her hand in there. So I might want to do some of her hand. I also added, where's the lines? Oh my god, there's so many layers. I also added nippies, which I'm going to not do on stream, because I don't know how much I can do without it, with it being like, and I'm going to do some of her hair, because her hair is kind of like, I don't know if I want this red pillow. Number one, I just done a red pillow in Corpse, so do I want to do another red pillow? I don't know, but I think that's going to be the thing that clashes least with her hair, because I think the purple would, because I was thinking like, oh, we'll just put the purple there, but I think the purple would clash with it. Super interesting conversation there. But anyway, that's where my thoughts are tonight. I think I'm going to tackle her little hand. I'm going to tackle some of her hair, and I'm not going to do the nips tonight, because I feel like that's just asking to be banned. Right, let's do the hand first. Better start recording. There we go. I need some more memory in my machine. I record so much stuff when I'm doing, like, when I'm streaming stuff, because I'm recording the stream, I'm recording the audio, and I'm recording the drawing, so there's a lot going on my computer. Oh, I'm on the right, like, I'm never ever on the right layer. So this is hand thigh. That's fine. Did I remember to turn the music on this time? For you anyway. Yeah, I totally did. Look at me go! It's like I do this twice a week. And, you know, I never make mistakes in my streams. I do. A lot. But that's the joy of it. Right, okay. So, if she is holding her thigh... this would actually come down a bit. So I did what I said I was going to do last time. I finally sat down and I watched some, not all, I watched some Jujutsu Kaisen. So my brain's kind of tired today. I will say that straight up at the moment. I have had a very long work day. So excuse every single brain fart that comes. And of course, like, I know that I quite normally get brain farts, but still. So yeah, I finally sat down and I watched some of Jujutsu Kaisen, and it was literally like maybe 5 minutes in, and I was hooked. Like, I was insanely hooked on it already. So I'm a fan. I am already a fan. And yes, as I thought, as soon as I went into it, Gojo, man. I'm a fan of Gojo. I'm only like 8 episodes in. Because I've been watching a lot of trash taste videos, which, by the way, brilliant. So I've not had every single minute of my day to watch anime at the moment, unfortunately. Maybe this will look better once the rest of the fingers are in. Actually, do you know what? I think this needs to be round a little bit. So yeah, I've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm like, see, within like, I was sitting, excuse me, I was sitting, and it was I want this to be, no, I was editing the next video that'll be up on my channel soon. I was editing that, and sorry, braining. I was editing the video, and I put it on in the background, and I was like, right, I'll just watch it when I'm not editing. I'll listen to it and stuff. And I sat like this, just staring at my TV. Now my computer's here, my TV's over here, and I just sat and just watched it. So that first 10 minutes of it, I was done. That was like, yep, that's me. I'm a fan. It seems to be, I don't know, there's a very, it seems to be going for a certain audience anyway. There's quite a few, like, I don't want to say like fan service. It is fan servicey type scenes. Like the scene, one of the characters is like straight up like naked, and the only thing covering his dignity is a foot. Now I know that I watch anime, I should always just expect that anyway, but I didn't expect it in Jujutsu Kaisen. So yeah, when that scene was on, I had to do a double take. It was a double take because, number one, it's an attractive character, but number two, I did not expect it in that show. If there was a show I was expecting it in, it definitely wasn't Jujutsu Kaisen. And I enjoyed it. So far that is my thoughts on the show. I like it, but no, I was literally like 10 minutes in, and I was like, right, this is it. I'm into it. And so when I first actually like heard of it, I had people saying like, oh, it's like Naruto on crack, which is why I want to watch it, because I love Naruto, but it's totally not. Do you know what it reminds me of? It's like as if Naruto Shippuden and Blue Exorcist had a baby. That is, to me, what Jujutsu Kaisen is. Because, I don't know, there's like this like really, really dark aspect to it, but like the characters are like quite comical. And there's a very like big lightheartedness about the show, which I'm glad that I moved my camera, because my cat sits down here right beside me and cleans her butt. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Every single time I sit down and stream, she does that. She'll just right there. But yeah, so the characters have this like this comedy about them. There's lightness, and that's what kind of reminds me of Blue Exorcist, because that's very much lighthearted at points. Although I've not seen the new season. I'm very excited to see the new season. But no, whilst I've been sitting watching Trash Taste recently, I am realising how many shows I've not seen. And it's just, I'm the worst kind of weeb, guys. So many shows I've not seen. I will watch them at some point. I'm very, very uncultured. In fairness, I was actually thinking about this on the way home. This fringe, hold on. Let me be vain for a second, because this fringe needs to be put back a little bit. Get in my face. Fuck it, that'll do. We're not here for my hair. So yeah, when oh, I was I'm telling you, my brain's going. When I was driving home from work today, I was sitting thinking about like how I got into anime and stuff, because I was the type that I refused point blank to watch anime for a very, very, very long time, because anime was for nerds, guys. And for so long, I just refused to watch it because it was just... I watched Pokemon when I was a kid, and I loved Pokemon when I was a kid. And when one of my friends was like, oh, you really should watch this show, and I was like, fuck off, no, it's anime, I don't watch anime, who watches anime? And that friend came over that night, and he was like, no, we're going to sit down and we're going to watch this show. So I got forced to sit and watch Fairy Tail, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I was about like, wait now, let me do the math. This is the really, really epic song whilst I'm doing math. This is the most epic math I've ever done in my life. So I moved in here in 2016. For 7 years ago? Yeah, but 7 years ago is when I started watching anime. And it was because of this friend who was just like, you will like it. I know you will like it. You're a nerd in every other like way. You're going to enjoy anime. So yeah, he sat down and he forced me to watch Fairy Tail, and I absolutely loved it. But that was only 7 years ago. Less than 7 years. No, but 7 a bit. Whatever it is, anyway. And I'd actually never like drawn anything before that point as well, because I was very much like I actually think this is going to be much smaller. I'd never picked up a pen or a pencil since high school, and my drawing, oh my god, cats, only started after I started watching anime. Excuse me. So yeah, it was it's a very tiny hand, isn't it? It's a tiny hand. To stray off subject, I remember, so when I'm editing videos for speed drawings, I generally will try and do some, I'll like draw some and then I'll edit some of it, and then I'll keep going like that. Because when I'm editing, I look at something and I'm like, man, that looks terrible, I could definitely go and fix that. And I remember when I was editing my last, not the corpse drawing that's going up next month, the last corpse drawing that was like one of my worst drawings. Well, not one of the worst drawings, it was alright. When I was editing it, and I drew the hand just like freehand. I had no references or anything like that, I just drew it. This hand was honestly, it was like he was like holding on to his jacket, and the hand was like one of those little hands, you know, those little plastic hands. just so small. And I remember looking at it going, oh man, can I put that up online? It's so bad. I did put it up online, and you know what, it was fine, but it was just fine. I remember laughing so hard, and that's what this hand reminded me of. But yeah, so I only started watching anime 7 years ago, which I feel like 7 years is still enough time to have seen more of the shows that I should have watched more shows, but there's so many out there. Like when you sit down to watch a show, it's like, where do you even start? There's a lot of times I'll just go through Funimation and I'm like, do you know what, that's got good cover art, I'll watch that. um, Cat. I can hear her. I can hear her being up to something. I just can't see her being up to something. So yeah, I just tend to go for whatever just looks the nicest, like cover art, and I'll watch that, or whatever's got like decent ratings, which generally is like the most popular shows. So I kind of wish that I had a little bit more of a cultured taste in anime, but I don't. I'm very generic with a lot of stuff. Hey. Oh my god, they get hyper every single time I start streaming because there's like, I basically come in from work and I'll put the curtain down and turn the lights on whilst I'm getting ready, and they only have like that amount of time to get used to the curtain. Saturdays are better because I have it done like all day Saturday. So yeah, I feel like I need a bit more of a variation in my anime. I haven't watched any of Berserk, or read any Berserk, sorry. I've not read any of that. I haven't read any I've not seen any One Piece. I've said this before, I probably will never watch One Piece. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if I'm like, Cat, but do you mind? Miss Meekle. Excuse me. So yeah, if I've got like 3 weeks off work at some point, I will maybe sit down and I will watch some One Piece. But until that time, I don't have any intention of it. I've heard it's really, really, really good though. One day. What colour is a fingernail? Maybe more pink? Bit there? I think this is the, yeah. Cat, oh my god. I would never hurt my cat, but sometimes. That was obviously a joke. Well, I might give her red nails. It depends on how they turn out. Sometimes I draw a nail and I'm just like, well, that's a bad nail. Let's just do it as like the plainest colour I can possibly get into the drawing so that it doesn't look terrible. What was I talking about? So yeah, I will at one point probably sit down. It's the same, I said about Naruto as well. I will never watch Naruto because there were so many episodes. And the friend that forced me to sit down and watch Fairy Tail has a Naruto tattoo. And he was like, oh, it's such a good show, you need to watch it. And I'm like, oh, so many episodes though. And then I sat down and watched it. I was like, okay, I understand the hype. And I will always recommend it to people. Getting someone to like want to watch Naruto though is so hard. So this nail, right? This finger's like pointing down the way. But I can never figure out the angle for a nail when it's like pointing down the way. So I might come back to this nail. I'll come back to that nail. So yeah, it's very, very difficult to get someone into Naruto. I have a couple of friends who are like, oh, yeah, actually sounds pretty good. Hopefully they'll become as addicted as I was. I actually find I have the necklace. God, what's the guy's name? Let's see. I can't remember what the character's name is. It's the first Hokage, but It is Hashirama. Oh, do you know what? I was getting mixed up in my brain with Hashirama and the Hashira in Demon Slayer. So my brain was like, it can't be the Hashirama because, you know, Hashira. But I actually was right. Oh, this nail's annoying me. Let's see what it looks like in red. I kind of prefer the red. Okay, I think the nails are too small. So yeah, I actually have the necklace, the First Hokage's necklace, because was it the First Hokage's necklace? Where's the cat? You okay? The necklace anyway that Naruto wears. I got it as a gift, and it was from the same person that actually bought me the hentai hoodie. Best hoodie ever. But it's from that same person, and it was one of my favourite things I've ever had actually. I wore it for so long, and I can remember this client coming into my work. Now I work in a legal office, so clients coming in who know anime, like unheard of. Clients coming in who want to talk to you about said anime, unheard of. So when this client came in, I was like, yes, I will give you every single piece of attention that I can give you, because yes, please, for the love of God, speak to me about anime. It's difficult working in a legal office sometimes, okay? No one wants to talk about anime. It's one of those things as well, like when you do work in an office like that, you have to ease people into it. And when I first started the job that I'm working at now, I started there like a couple of years ago, and they were like, oh, what do you like to do in your spare time? And I was like, oh, I draw. And I told them I'd do some character drawings, and only after it was like, it must have been like a few like months into working there, they were like, oh, so what type of characters do you draw? And I was like, hold on. Let me bring out Ria's. Is it Ria's or Riza? From High School DxD? High School. I've not seen it in a long time. Yeah, it is Ria's. I heard someone call her Riza, and I'm like, I'm sure it's Ria's. But anyway, I didn't show them my Ria's drawing, obviously, because number one, I hadn't done it yet, and number two, that's not the type of thing you want to introduce to your work colleagues of, hi, this is what I do in my free time, enjoy some anime titties. I liked that drawing though. I was very proud of that drawing. I feel like I was telling a story, and then I got distracted and told a different story. Oh, I was talking about like when I started anime. So yeah, I started anime when I was like 25 or something. I was when I first started watching anime. So I mean, I was quite late to the anime game. So I feel like I've got so much catching up to do on all these like A-class anime, or first-class anime, whichever way you want to call it. A-class makes it sound like a drug. I've got to get some A-class anime. So yeah, I have a lot of catching up to do on anime. Some of the big ones anyway. And there will be big ones that I just won't watch because of the size of them, like One Piece. I feel like I will at some point watch it, but I also feel like I will never want to watch it. I'm on the wrong layer. No, I'm just on the wrong brush. I hope you can't hear my cat, by the way. She's doing something in the next room. I don't know what she's doing. But no, one day I'll come on here and be like, guys, guess what? One Piece. I think like other animes, it's like these huge ones that everybody and their granny have seems to watch, and I've just never seen them before. A lot of them, anyway. I do need some more of a cultured taste, though. A cultured, but watch. Out of like all the playlists that I listen to when I'm streaming, like all the songs that I listen to when I'm streaming, sorry, this is my second favourite one. The other one, like the really like deep, bassy one, that is my favourite one, but this is a close second. Probably because it has that deep bassiness in it as well. Trying to figure out if my brain can handle it today though. I am tired. Sometimes you go to work and it's like, it's not meant to be this busy. But it was. We have a receptionist who's kind of like my age, and normally in legal firms, a lot of people are much older. So having someone my age, I'm like, hi, friends. But I think that's just being an adult now. Making friends is hard, guys. I was looking at my hands today. My hands are a bit of a mess because I'm a finger biter, like a nail biter, and they're not looking very pretty right now. But I was looking at my hands because I was like, I want to try to do a little bit more detail in hands. I'm not doing it in this one because I can't be bothered tonight. But like, I just want to get a little bit more detail. I can't use my hands as a reference for anything though, because I have these little like horribly small hands. They're not horribly small, they're small hands. So they're small and they're like little chubby things. I remember when I was doing who was I drawing? I can't remember who I was drawing. I was drawing a character who had a hand in their drawing. I don't think it was the corpse one because I think I would remember that one. Who was it? No. Does she have a hand? It might have been when I done Lady Dimitrescu from... Oh, my camera done its thing again. Oh, of course, as soon as I unlock it. Oh no, you can see my rubbish. I don't know if my camera does that sometimes. There we go. I am back. So yeah, the Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. When I drew her, she had a hand, I'm sure it was like up here. And I tried to, like, so what, if I'm really struggling with a hand, I will take a picture of my hand and the pose that I want it to be in. And then I'll take a picture and I'll have it like up right beside me so I can like draw the hand. Sometimes I'll have a mirror as well and I'll just sit with the hand or, you know, however, in that way. And I remember drawing this hand on Lady D, and I have very small chubby hands, and she has these very like, you know, well, she's obviously massive, she's, you know, 9 foot tall. And she had this little chubby hand, and it's like, oh, she's meant to have these big long elegant hands, and I'm just like, ah, child. So that's when I realised I probably can't use my hands to draw Lady D's. It was fun though. can hear my cats doing something in the background. And I kind of don't want to know. So yeah, sometimes I will use my own hands for references. But they always just end up these little tiny chubby hands. And then I have to like do some work to make the hand less chubby. So yeah, I've actually noticed as well, by the way. See when because I edit some of these videos down into TikToks, and I was watching over like one of my videos, and I say so so many times, because what I'll do is I'll get into a part of the drawing that's very like, oh, I need to concentrate on this, so I'll get into the drawing and I will forget what I'm talking about, and they'll come back and be like, oh, yeah, hello. I forgot I'm on stream. I say it so often though. I'm trying to stop. But it's very hard. It's like trying to stop eating cheese. Oh, this bit of fringe as well, by the way. Let's get this. I thought I tucked it in enough. There we go. But I think I am going to definitely watch more, like, more of the greats in anime. I really, really need, no, I don't need to, obviously, but I want to. I want to experience these, like, fantastic shows that everyone talks about. And I've just not watched them yet. And I just want to. Oh, these fingers are very white. It's definitely like a shadowy area. This nail's not in a good place. I think this nail needs to be much further up the finger. So yeah, it's not like I have to watch it, but I really want to. Well, them. I've seen quite a few of the mainstream must-watches. Like, obviously I've seen like Full Metal and all those, and some ones that I just wish that I could forget. I've got to say, Sword Art Online is definitely a show that I just want to forget. I was so excited for the premise of that show. Like, see when I first started watching anime, it was Fairy Tail, because that was the friends that sat me down and was like, you're watching it. That was like one of his favourite shows, so he was like, I want to show you this because it's one of my favourites. And then he sat me down and he was like, I want to show you this one because, again, it's one of my favourites. So I was like, cool, that's fine, I'm totally fine with that. And I will laugh. And that show, they could have done so much with Sword Art Online. They really, really could have. But it just, like, it fell so short. I was so, like, honestly disappointed. Because, like, I will laugh. What? You get stuck in a video game? I have genuinely, like, got myself to sleep at night having, like, little fantasies about getting stuck in a video game. Because that would be awesome. That would be so cool. Obviously there is logistics that would be terrible, you know, like your body, I've got cats. But when you're in these little, you know, worlds of your own, you don't think about that sort of stuff. You just get in and you just think about, you know, happy place. And that would be awesome to get stuck in a game. Maybe not die, like, because obviously the whole thing is that if you die in the game, you die in real life. But like, it's a good concept. And then the whole, like, that season was like fucking 10 episodes or something. And then they were like, yeah, right, okay, we're done. What do you mean you're done? And then they went to Alfheim. It was nowhere near as good. But I took it as it was. I was like, right, it's a show that's, yeah. I really enjoyed Gun Gale. Like the one in the gun world for Gun Gale Online. My brain needs a boost. My cats are so hyper. I don't know why. So yeah, like I really enjoyed Gun Gale Online. I didn't like it at first, but then I don't know if it was maybe like watching the other ones after watching Gun Gale. I was like, you know what, Gun Gale was actually pretty good. And then they came out with the Alicization arc. If you've seen it, you know exactly what I mean. It was terrible. It was bad. It didn't. There was just a lot not good in that season. In the 2 seasons actually, because they done like the first season and then it was like the war thing that they done after that, which was even worse. So yeah, I was very disappointed with Sword Art. It could have went far. It could have been a great anime. Although I do know that there is people that are like, oh, it's my favourite anime. That's amazing. And I just don't understand those people. I try to, okay? I try. I kind of feel like, cause I mean, I've seen a couple of shows that are just maybe not the best shows ever, but I enjoy them. Right now, I can't think of any show that I've seen in my entire life because brains don't work like that. I wish Funimation had a thing that was like, oh, you've watched this show before. Oh, I don't want Patreon. I have a Patreon, by the way, if you're interested. I didn't mean to click on that. But yeah, when you go onto Funimation, it doesn't actually tell you, oh, you've watched this and you've watched that. Because I've watched a couple of like slice of life shows. I genuinely cannot remember anything about them. But is that maybe just slice of life? I feel like there's a lot of slice of life that are very forgettable. And then there's something like really awesome slice of life. I'm going to remove this shadow here. What is this? Front thigh? Front thigh. I'm going to add a shadow in here. So yeah, I have watched bad shows. Just not as... There's not a lot that beats Sword Art for me on not a great show. I just wish that it had done it better, because it could have been great. But you live and learn. I don't know if that's too much pink. It's quite difficult when you're sitting here with the like the lights and everything, and trying to see past the lights to add in colour. Like, is that too pink? I don't know. I can change it though, if it is too pink. Nah, I think that looks fine. From where I am anyway. I'm gonna add just a couple a little bit. But yeah, out of all the shows that I've watched, that's probably my biggest disappointment. Was I disappointed? It's one of those shows that's like, you watch it and it's fine, and then probably not watch it again. Although in saying that, I have watched Sword Art more than once. Maybe that's my guilty pleasure show. It's so bad. I mean, I won't watch past, like, I'll watch season 1. I'll normally skip season 2. The best part about season 2 is the technical scene. No gonna lie. Because it's hilarious as well as it's a technical scene. But I think, yeah, so season 1, skip season 2, season 3, which is, well, season 3 part 1. No, because it was season 1 part 1, which was like in Aincrad. And then they did Alpine, and then they did Gun-Gale, and then they did this, like, it was a Yuki arc? Because I think they done like a few episodes of like the thing with the elephant. I can't remember what it was called. I did a thing with the elephant anyway. I've not cleaned up this line. That's terrible. But yeah, they did the whole thing with the elephant. That wasn't a great arc, in my fantastic opinion. But they did that, and then they did the Yuki arc. Don't get me wrong, I actually really enjoy Yuki. She was a great character, and I cry every single time in that season, so it does its job. I don't know if this is like too much pink. I do think though that I've put far too much like shadow. So yeah, maybe that is my guilty pleasure. Yeah. I don't want to say I like it because I don't like it. It's just a show that I watch when I'm bored. When I'm bored or depressed, I'll go to it. Kind of want to work on her face a little bit as well. Oh, look at this here. What have I done here? Is this part of the hair? I don't know where this layer is. Oh, that was creepy. That was really, really, really creepy. It's more creepy when you take away the pupils. Then it gets real creepy. I need to find out where this hair is. Ah, there it is. So I don't know if this is like, oh, it's underneath the face, so the face is like transparent here. And it shouldn't be. Ah, there we go. Sometimes a drawing will look like, you know, you do the drawing, you're like, oh, do you know what, this looks actually quite cracking. And then you zoom in. And then you realise that the drawing is not cracking. This nose is a bit, I don't know, should this come around a little bit more? How does that look? Makes her eye look a little bit sunken in though, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm trying to think what my guilty pleasure show is. What's a show that I watch like all the time that's terrible? I feel like there's a lot of them. I'm thinking, guys, I'm thinking. Yeah, I actually don't like this bit here. I mean, I watch Fairy Tail so often. That's not a guilty pleasure, that's a genuinely, like, good show. I think it's probably Sword Art. And you know what, like, the reason that I watch it is because I've seen it before. And if I'm just like, if I'm crabbit or if I'm like really tired or something, I don't want, I want to watch something new. So unfortunately, yes, I do go back and watch something like that. Just if I want like a shit show to watch that isn't, that doesn't require like brain power. That's my justification for it anyway. Oh, I'm on the wrong brush. That's why. I had to double check that I was actually recording because I was I couldn't remember hitting record. I've said that like 3 times already in the stream. So yeah, I think that's probably my guilty watch. But it's definitely not a good show. It's not one I would recommend to, like, I don't know, maybe it is actually a good one for like an introduction into anime, because the first season's actually not bad, and it's got a lot of like, it's got a lot of anime, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it tropes? Stuff that you see in like every anime. Yeah, a trope. An anime trope. I was like, I'm sure I'm using the right word. It has a lot of anime tropes in it, so it is the type of thing that's like, probably decent for a newbie. I think it was the... I don't think it was the first show that I got, because my sister didn't watch anime until we sat down and watched it, and I'm sure it was either Sword Art, unfortunately, sorry Natalie, or Fairy Tail. No, I can tell you exactly what it was. It was Fairy Tail, and it was the Phantom Lord arc. So when Juvia gets introduced, that season, because she was living with me for a couple of weeks. I don't know if I've really ever spoke about it before. So my cat had a lump, and she had to get the vets obviously had to test her for if she had a cancerous lump or not. And the when I, in fact, I have talked about this before. When I got Olaf back from the vet, Lulu didn't like her. She went after her and she tried to bite her and stuff because she smelled funny, and the vet didn't really tell me that would happen, and I didn't think about it. So I had to separate them for a little bit, and my sister came up and basically like lived with me for a couple of weeks, to help out and make sure that the cats were like looked after and stuff. Which was a fantastic help, by the way. So yeah, she came up, and lived with me for. There's a whole bit missing here. When did that happen? There it is. Yeah, and I was sitting watching the Phantom Lord arc, and then my sister came in. She was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Hi." She wanted to come and watch this show with me. And then she was hooked. Okay, so I'm going to need this color. I'm going to need like this color, this color. I've got this like kind of gingery tone going through as well, but I don't think I actually want that for the rest of the drawing. So you can see like it does make it look a little bit more tinged on the kind of the gingery side, and I don't want her to be ginger. Says me. I need to map out her hair a little bit better, because I kind of... let's just do that right now. I don't know what's in this layer. I don't know if there's anything in this layer. Let's just do it in this layer. So yeah, I sat and I watched the Phantom Lord arc, and my sister kind of hung like behind me. She was like, "What's that?" And that was when she started watching Fairy Tail, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, you need to go and watch this show," which was Sword Art, and then I got her to watch Blue Exorcist as well. I do mean Juvia from Fairy Tail. This is not what I'm drawing right now. I am going to be doing her maybe. I don't know when I'm going to do her. I'm trying to do a little bit more of Tifa's hair, and then go on to Juvia afterwards. But yes, I do mean Juvia, and I was literally just talking about the Phantom Lord arc. I'm assuming that you're a fan, because that's such a good show. But yeah, I'll be going to draw her in a wee while. Depends on how like into this I get. Sometimes if I get into a drawing, I'm just like, I need to keep going. Do you know what? I don't blame you. Um, I I almost stopped watching. So when was the Saints arc? The Arashion Sace? Is that who you're talking about? Because I think the Arashion Sace came after. Yeah, Arashion Sace came after the Phantom Lord arc. So yeah, you would have met Juvia, and then the Arashion Sace. They're like 3 seasons ahead of that is when I almost stopped watching. Because I didn't actually. I thought it was like. I thought it was at the end of the show. And turns out I was very wrong. It was not the end of the show at all. Yeah. Do you know, there was a lot of boring stuff when I stopped watching it. Was like I thought the show had ended, and it hadn't ended. But then after that arc, like the one immediately after was terrible, because I think the one after it wasn't it wasn't canon to the show. Um, and they had that one, and it was terrible. And then the next arc after that was like a games, like a what was called the Grand Magic Games. Was one of my favourite arcs. So good. And then it just got better and better and better. I felt like after that arc, it just like matured a lot with it. And that's when I got hooked onto it anyway. I don't know if I want to say hooked. Yes, that was against the Phantom Lord. First time that you saw Law was just like mind blowing, and then they did Fairy Tail Zero, which came after the games that I was talking about. So Fairy Tail Zero was the like prequel to how Fairy Tail was formed, and that, if you like seeing that moment, I would recommend, because it's still in the same world, it's still like a couple of the same characters. There's a bit of a spoiler at the very, very start, so would I recommend it totally? I don't know. It was so good though. But if you like that part of Fairy Tail, then you will definitely enjoy watching Zero. What layer am I on? It's the wrong layer. Is this layer? Ah, here we are. Do you know, I used to hate Loxus as a character. Like, I mean, obviously, when you watch the show, he's not a nice person. But his character really grew on me after like later on in the show. Um, he gets a little bit cooler, I would say. But that's much later in the show. Oh man, I just want to go and watch Fairy Tail now. But I can't watch Fairy Tail again. Man, I've watched so much like Fairy Tail so many times. That's probably going to be my next tattoo as well. It's probably going to be another Fairy Tail, and like another anime. It's probably going to have Fairy Tail in it, because I really like Juvia's, her like Fairy Tail emblem. Is that the right word? God, English man. Same. It's one of the things that's like always been a laughing point for like my friends, because whenever they get into my car and I turn on my music in my car, it's either anime openings and closings or anime OSTs, like the full soundtracks, and or game soundtracks. Can you imagine that though? Like that would hurt. I mean, I've only got 2 tattoos, and they both hurt a lot, and I can't imagine getting, because apparently your hands and your feet are like the most painful places to get tattoos, and I'm not a Chad. I can't do it. But I do agree, it would be very cool. Why is this not? Oh, because I'm on the wrong. Okay. But no, I am very much also anime openings and closings and stuff. And actually, my alarm for like waking up in the morning, one of them anyway, is an opening for Full Metal. That's definitely a crying moment though, because God, I can't imagine like the pain of getting a tattoo on, right. When I go and like get blood taken and things, they can never get it in my arms, so they always have to go through my hands, and that is like one of the most painful things ever. So if I'm getting another tattoo, it's going to be on my leg, because your thigh, because apparently that is one of the least painful places to get a tattoo. And I am a wuss, and I am not scared to admit that. I don't like pain. When I got the one on my back, which is an Attack on Titan one, if you're a fan, when I got the one on my back, that killed me. Like, oh, that destroyed my soul. Yeah, Bixus? Is that his name? I want to say Bixus. It's probably not. Fairy Tail, Thunder Legion. Hey, what's his name? Because it's Evergreen, Loxus, the green guy. I am Freed. That's his name. I'm a big fan of Fairy Tail. Can't remember their names. Bixlow, Bixlow. I was actually pretty damn close. I like the Thunder Legion. I'm just going to detail out this here a little bit more, because it's a bit of a mess at the moment. The Thunder Legion actually had like a really cool like segment in my absolute favourite arc, which is the Tartaros arc. They had a big moment, and it was a very good moment. Am I in the wrong layer? Well, I am in the wrong layer. Where's this layer? Huh. Is it in head? Oh, it's in head. This one? Yeah. So I mean, I would definitely recommend going back and watching, like, persevering through the not so fantastic arcs, because once you get past like, I mean, Endless was not great. I think it was actually Endless, and it went straight into the S-Class trials, which were great. Oh, 100%. Evergreen's definitely that hot character that everyone hates but loves at the same time. I mean, when you get like further into the show, she does become a bit more of a better character. But I felt like she was just a kind of bit like eye candy for the Thunder Legion because I mean she was like the only chick in the Thunder Legion. She was badass, but she was the only chick. So I kind of feel like she was just kind of there as eye candy. I liked Evergreen though when she kind of developed as a character. But I think I would still always say like Juvia's my favorite character. She's so funny, and then she gets like really 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 badass moments, and that's I love a character that is like kind of comic relief when they get like this really 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 epic like moment. I find that with Kakashi quite a lot in Naruto. He was always portrayed to be this like this funny character, the comic relief in a lot of scenes that he was in, and then he would just like turn around and do something super super epic, and I love that when they do things like that with characters. And I felt like Juvia was very very much that character, where she would be the comic relief and then suddenly she was just epic for no reason whatsoever. She was just really 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 cool. So I agree. They at the very like kind of where you were, um, they didn't get all that much recognition as characters, which did kind of suck because they're good characters and they're fun characters, but again later on they do get a little bit more of a spotlight, and in fact, in the Tartaros arc, which I was just saying is my favourite one, Wendy gets this scene that is just sheer perfection. It is one of my favourite scenes in all of Fairy Tail. Is one of the scenes that Wendy gets in the Tartaros arc. They did. They 100% pushed her aside for a lot of the earlier seasons. She starts to become like a proper character at the Grand Magic Games. That's when she starts to develop like her own actual personality, and at that point does turn into quite a lot of people's favorite character, because she does get like this like badass push, that makes her just a much more rounded character. Look at me talking as if I know anime. But genuinely, she does actually get a bit of she gets a definitely better character arc, through the games and through the Tartaros arc, because she has to. Just realising how much of an absolute dork I'm sounding here. Going into all the characters' developments, etc. But it is, I mean, it's definitely worth the watch if you can get through. I know how hard it is though to get through an arc that you don't really enjoy. I had that with My Hero Academia. Like, yes, I know, gasp, shock. I couldn't get through a couple of the seasons. Not a couple of the seasons. There was like a part of a season before the last main season that I couldn't get through those episodes. It was like Class A versus Class B. I couldn't get over it. I am always looking for new anime stuff to listen to. I'm pretty obsessed with listening to a lot of anime soundtracks just now. But I do definitely need some more anime openings and closings. I do strongly recommend it. Fairy Tail, honestly, it's one of my favourites. I think it will always be one of my favourites, just because it has a really really good rewatch for me. But it's a big commitment. Oh yeah, Snow Fairy. There's the first one, I think. I'm not even going to sing it. I can't sing it. I will absolutely destroy your ears, especially if you're wearing headphones. But the very, very first fairy tale opening has like you see the fairy like going across the screen. I'm sure that is Snow Fairy. And that is it is like one of the classics. It is definitely one that I've got it on my phone. It's on my phone. That was my alarm for a while. It was just on my phone as like, I think the video that it was like, Fairy Tale episode 1 opening or something. So I'm sure it's called Snow Fairy. It's very good. I think Call of the Night. Ooh. Hold on. I'm going to. There we go. I'm going to screenshot that because I can't put music on here because I'll 100% get banned, or at least copyright claimed. But I will keep that in mind because I haven't seen Call of the Night. What is Call of the Night? Like, what type of anime is that? Call of the Night. Oh. I'm down. I'll watch that. It's one of the ones that I has not been on my list, and you know I've actually got such a long list, and then sometimes you see a show and you're like, I'm going to put that to the top of the list. I think my favourite anime opening, I mean there's obviously like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That first one is just like, that's sheer perfection. The Death Note opening, again, that is just mwah, wonderful. What would be my favourite? Right now I have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, the first opening, as my alarm clock in the morning. It's actually my last alarm. I put on like 4 or 5 alarms in the morning because I hate waking up. So that is what wakes me up in the morning. Oh. There we go. So what would you say is like your number one anime opening? If you were to pick one song from an anime opening that was like your perfection go-to, what would that one song be? I wonder. Let me see. So I have a bunch. Angels of Death. If you haven't seen Angels of Death, I highly recommend it. But the opening to that is like, is just that is such a good opening. A bunch of the My Hero Academia ones are fantastic too. Oh, right, that's what it would be. My absolute go-to for anime openings is Bluebird, which is the Naruto opening of, I don't know if you've seen Naruto or not, but in Shippuden, the one with Asuma, Bluebird, that's my favourite. Ooh, Romantic Killer. I'm screenshotting all of these, by the way, because I would very much like to listen to them when I am not going to get copyright claimed. But yeah, even if you have not watched Naruto, I would recommend going and checking out that opening. It's called, I'm sure it's called Bluebird. Oh, can I go into YouTube? Is it going to play something? Please don't play it. Yeah. Bluebird. It is Bluebird, yeah. First thing that comes up, Bluebird, Naruto. Opening 3 of Shippuden. Yeah. No, I would definitely have a look for those ones. And you know, a lot of like these unknown ones, I am actually looking for recommendations for anime that aren't like super mainstream. I don't know how long you've been in the stream, But I was talking earlier on about I've watched like so many of the mainstream ones. So I've only been watching anime for like 7 years. Um, so I've watched a ton of mainstream ones, and I've not watched a lot of the more like background ones that not everyone talks about that are fantastic. So I'm definitely looking for some. I absolutely could, yeah. Um, I wonder. Oh, I'm so worried about doing this. No, I'll do it after stream. I'm paranoid that I'm like going to push the wrong button and end up just like blaring it to the stream. So I will absolutely 100% be listening to them afterwards. But right now, I'm so paranoid. I'm just going to push the wrong button, and Twitch will just be like, nah. But it can be done. I'm just not confident enough to do that without accidentally hurting my channel. Oh, I don't know if I'm actually in the mood to do hair at the moment. The hair takes so long in these drawings. It's one of the last like base colour thing that I've got to do though, is getting this. I know, but I don't know if Twitch is like YouTube, but if you get that, if you get a strike on, like I think there's 3 strikes on your YouTube channel, and it just gets taken down. So I'd rather not risk that, since I'm only like a month or so into streaming. I'll get more confident with what I can and can't do on stream at some point, but yeah. I've got a couple of friends who stream a lot more than what I've done, so I'll ask them like where the limit is of what you can do. They'll know better than me. Mm. I've actually had that done to me a couple of times, because I listen to Epidemic Sound, which I pay for like all my music and stuff. But there's this one song that keeps on getting like flagged up as copyright, which it isn't. So I just have to keep reminding myself to like remove that one. It's like a playlist I listen to on it, so I can't remove it. I've got to like just skip it, which is really really annoying, and I forget sometimes. Ooh. Oh man, I didn't know you could do that. Oh, I call myself I actually don't call myself an artist. Um, I don't feel like I'm at like the skill level to be able to call myself an artist. Um, but I've been drawing for as long as I've been watching anime. And there's still things that I have not figured out how to do on this software that I have been using since I started drawing. I find that really really weird. It seems to be very like selective of what they mute and what they don't mute. Because when I streamed, like I used to stream like a few years ago, and when I streamed, I would always listen to music before my stream, and when like I'll have like a 5 minute countdown until I go live, and I was listening to that, and I was listening in my ears to music, and I always got caught for it if I forgot to turn it off before the stream started. I'd always get like wrapped on the knuckles for it, whereas I had friends who were constantly just streaming music and they never got caught for it. Mind you, yeah. I don't have a My Anime list. I should. I would actually. I don't know how to set it up. My Anime list. Do you just? I actually do. I do have a my anime list. I've just never ever ever went into it because I feel like this would also be a good place for me to find like shows that I want to watch, and versus shows that are kind of like on my list of I should probably watch that because it's really really popular, and if I should actually watch that show or not. I kind of felt like that with I felt like that with Demon Slayer. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Demon Slayer. It was a really really good show, and I'm definitely going to watch the next arc. But the ratings were so high for this, and it disappointed me. And as I said, it was good. It just wasn't as amazing as everybody was saying it was. Oh, yeah. No, I made an account. I must have made it years ago because I can't remember making the account. But I've never actually used it. So I've got it open on my my Google. So I will remember to do that. Yeah, definitely not a masterpiece. Like, animation was absolutely gorgeous. The soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. The story is alright. Actually, who did the Demon Slayer soundtrack? Demon Slayer OST. Is it not the one that did Sword Art? Was it UK someone? No? Why is it so hard to find this? It's very annoying. OST composer. It is. It's UK Kajura? The one who done Sword Art Online and Fate Zero and things like that. Oh, that says at the end of this playlist. Yeah, so the soundtrack is fabulous, and the animation is just gorgeous. I mean, there's no if buts or maybes about that. It's just the story was very okay. I just felt there was far too much hype about it, compared to how the show actually was. So I'm very careful with that. One show that did actually completely like live up to the hype was My Hero Academia. When I watched My Hero for the first time, I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. Everyone's like super hype about it and it's going to be shite. But it was just one of those shows that like I was talking earlier about Jujutsu Kaisen. I was into that the first 10 minutes. I was super into that show and I was ready to go. I was ready to watch everything, like the whole thing. When I watched My Hero Academia, it took me like 2 or 3 episodes to get into it, and I was like, God, is this going to be another show that just falls a bit flat? And then I watched it, and then I watched all of it, and I love it. So that is definitely a show that did live up to its reputation. Other show, Attack on Titan. Now, I'm clearly a fan of Attack on Titan. You might not see it right now. I do have the tattoo of the Wings of Freedom on my back. I have my Levi figure over here. I wonder actually if you can see it. Why does my camera do this? Excuse my fabulous face, but my camera's went funny. There we go. Yeah, you can't see it in the background. I have this figure of Levi. Amazing. I love it so much. But that was a show that definitely 100%. I know, right? I don't have like a lot of controversial opinions on anime. I feel like I have had a complete new arsehole ripped for me for saying that I did not like Demon Slayer as much as what other people were saying. I absolutely have had that in the neck so many times. But That's just how I felt about it at the time. Same with My Hero as well. Do you know what? I don't really care. I enjoyed it. I had a great time watching it. And when I watch a show, it's like, what brings me the most joy in a show? And if it fits those the categories, then for me it's a good show. I know that there's been shows that I have liked that my friends haven't liked. One show that I actually genuinely really enjoyed was High School DxD, and none of my friends could get into it. Also, you can't really recommend that to like a friend. But I loved it. Because it was just such a funny, like, it was a funny show. I also get completely ripped new one when I talk about how much I dislike Sword Art Online. So yeah, I actually also think that for My Hero, like where I was, like a lot of the shows that I watch, whether it's anime or like live action or movies and that as well, my enjoyability of it also comes like with what I'm doing in my life at the time. My Hero like came around when, I don't know, I needed a show like that. It was an easy watch. It was fun. There was funny points. I think the story is actually pretty damn good. Is the story pretty damn good? No. I enjoy the story. It is a very much like shitty superhero show, but where I was, it was the type of show that I needed in my life at the time. So it was right up my street. But yeah, there's a few on my shit list that has definitely rubbed people the wrong way. Ooh, I would love to hear what your 10 out of 10s are. Also, in My Hero, talking about 10 out of 10, there's very few shows where I find like an episode or two that is just like sheer perfection. My Hero Academia has 2 episodes that I am absolutely in love with, for like the animation of it, for the music that's behind it. Still gives me goosebumps thinking about some of them. Like yeah, so the animation, the music that's behind it, and just like the general like atmosphere of it. There's 2 episodes with All For One that are just absolutely amazing. There was 2 episodes like that in Attack on Titan season 1 that were just absolutely like spot on, incredible. And there was a couple in Fairy Tail as well, but there's very few shows that do that to me. Oh, A Silent Voice, by the way. So that's one actually. Angel Beats is one that I definitely need to watch, but that I haven't got around to watching yet. So I have heard very good things about it. Haven't seen the other 2, but A Silent Voice is genuinely like, it's such, I don't know, I love it. I know there's a couple of people that I know that just didn't like it, which I can understand why, kinda, but I loved it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Oh, I can definitely say I've cried at many other things in my life. And in fact, I will cry at shows that aren't actually like meant to be funny, meant to be sad, and I'll still cry at them because I'm like, oh, there's just sometimes a little thing that just tickles your heart and go, yeah, okay, I like that. But yeah, I that is definitely a show I need to watch. So, Your Lie in April, by the way, if you are into soundtracks, I know that you said you're into openings, but if you're into soundtracks, the Your Lie in April soundtrack is honestly such an incredible, like, listening experience. I have a playlist that I listen to whilst I'm at, like, my day job, and Your Lie in April is one of the ones that always gets played because it is such a nice, relaxing soundtrack. Yeah. I'm glad you agree. It is honestly so good. I can't remember who the composer of that one is, but oh, it's just wonderful to listen to, and it's at the top of my list of like That show is so good. I have cried at that show as well. Which will be a shock to absolute nobody. I cry a lot at shows. I wonder what show actually made me cry the most. Fairy Tail, actually. So there was an episode with Wendy later on that just had me like floods of tears, like absolute floods. I remember sitting watching it. I had read the manga for this part, and I was watching it. So when I was reading the manga, I was crying like ugly tears, like sniffing, snot everywhere tears. So sniffing here, I'm sorry. But then I watched the anime, and again, I was like, I've read the manga, so this is not going to make me cry. And I still was absolutely like, because generally I'll watch the dub of an anime because I do drawings when I'm watching, and I don't speak any Japanese, so generally I'll watch the dub so that I can concentrate on whatever drawing I'm doing whilst I'm watching. And what's her name? I want to say her name's Brianna, but it's not. The one that does Wendy's voice. She's really good. Brittany Karbowski. Her as Wendy is just absolutely brilliant. At the end, I don't know. I remember being like completely like gobsmacked when I watched Angels of Death, because I didn't expect that ending, like, in the slightest. Oh my goodness. Is it froze? It seems to have come back on for me. Hopefully it's fixed itself. Oh, why is this not doing this? There we go. So yeah, Angels of Death. Absolutely one of my favourite. Like, that ending was really, really good. And not really one that just had me like, what was Seraph of the End? That was a show, and this was another one where they got like so far in the show, and then they just, like, I think the manga was maybe not caught up or something, so they just went their own way with the ending of it. Oh, another, so I tend to find a lot of anime endings are like, I don't know, very out there. If you've seen like Darling in the Franxx, when that show ended, I remember sitting there for like, I was sitting there for a good half an hour just going, what the hell did I just watch? And I really enjoyed Darling in the Franxx. There was like so many like fantastic puns and everything, and then the end came, I'm like, what? But like serious endings that I was like totally like, what was Angels of Death? That's a very good show. That was a game, actually. That was a game that was made into a manga and a light novel, and then it was made into an anime. Also got a really, really good soundtrack. Ooh. When you say horrific, was it like what genre is it? Because I've not actually seen that, so I'm not sure what the genre is. Because I'm actually right now. I am in the market. Yes, I am in the market for horror. I want to watch more horror anime. I have watched almost none. I think the most like horror was like Blood Sea, but that was just more like, it was just more blood than it was horror. Like, it wasn't scary. Angels of Death was technically a horror, but it wasn't scary at all. And actually, I'm not really looking for scary. I'm just looking for something like psychological, that you get to the end of it and you're just like, Excuse you? Yes, I'm there. You've already like, you've got your hooks into my brain already with that one. I have screenshot that as well, by the way. Sorry, I've got chat down here. It's a bit weird, but I've got chat down here. I will definitely look for that. Is that one on? Where can I find that to watch? Let's see if it's on Funny. That's not how you spell funny. It's logged me out. No, it is not on Funny. So, I'm probably going to have to find it somewhere else. So when I started watching anime, just talking about like plot armor and stuff, when I started watching anime, I had probably the picture that a lot of non-anime watchers had in their mind about what anime was. So when I started watching anime, I never ever expected that characters would die, like at all. I kind of felt that it was going to be, again, like any like kind of normie that goes into watching anime, like, that's fine, nothing's bad going to happen. And the first one I watched was Fairy Tail, where, you know, there is a lot of plot armor in that. So I thought, you know, going into all the anime, that there was going to be plot armor. And then I watched like Attack on Titan. And that was like the first show that was like, oh, okay, bad things happen. I love character deaths. I mean, is that a bad thing to say? I love being shocked by a character death. Oh, do you know what fucking other show did that? Demon Slayer did that as well. And that was one of my favourite things about it, was a character death. And that it was great. Loved it. I love a character death. It's the type of thing that I shouldn't love. Naruto as well. There was 2 huge big character deaths in Naruto that actually blew my mind. And at the time it was just like, oh, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it from Naruto anyway. Exactly. So when, again, I had actually been watching anime for quite a while before I watched Naruto. Quite a while. I've been watching anime for like 3 years. As I said, I've only been watching anime for 7 years, and it was like 3 or 4 years in when I sat down and watched Naruto. And Naruto, I had the same opinions of Naruto as I do One Piece, and I was like, there's so many episodes, I don't want to watch it. So I just didn't watch it for so long. And then the friend, again, that forced me to watch all anime, was like, you're watching Naruto because it's flipping amazing. And I struggled through Naruto, and I got to the end of Naruto, and then I started watching Shippuden. And my mind was blown, because I had this thought in my head of what I thought Naruto was going to be, and it was, you know, well, it was a kids show, and it was a kids show. But like at the very, very start, it was kind of, you know, kid friendly, kind of ish. They used to air it on daytime TV, friendly. So when it went on to Shippuden, I was like, oh, it's just got to be more of Naruto, which is fine. I really enjoyed Naruto. And then people started fucking dying, and I'm like, no, stop. And then my favourite character died. Yeah, so I don't know if I want to watch One Piece. It seems like the type of show that everyone's like, oh, you have to watch One Piece. So, you know, I kind of feel it's more of a like a rite of passage than a good show, from what I've heard from like people that watch it. like a lot of my friends are like, oh, you really, really don't have to watch it. It's fine. It's not amazing, but it's fine. So maybe one day I'll watch it when I have time to go through, what is it, 1,000 episodes or something. Maybe they'll come out like with a Kai version of it. I'll watch it then. But yeah, I was very shocked when they started killing characters in Naruto, because I just didn't expect it. It was still good though. Like, obviously, sad. I was very sad for those ones, but at the same time, spot on. Yeah, and as I said, it's probably going to be the one that, like, maybe if I have like a horrible sickness that I'm in my bed for like a few weeks or something, I will still I'll watch One Piece. It's also trying to find where to watch like these shows. So I've had such a difficulty, and I want to go back and watch Naruto Shippuden again, because it is honestly just, I watched it and I loved it. And you know, again, Naruto isn't like, it's not a masterpiece. The animation on it was an abomination, and there was so many filler episodes. But I quite liked the filler episodes in Shippuden. No gonna lie, I quite enjoyed them. But I feel like no, this is in a different layer, isn't it? Oh yeah, it does everything better, and I feel like it also matured a little bit as well when it went from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden. But it wasn't a total masterpiece. I just loved watching it. It was a fun watch. It had me hooked, and I actually I drew Asuma and Kurenai. I've drawn them like 3 times now actually together, because they're a fun like pair to draw. Actually, I've got Kakashi as well that I've done, I think 3 times as well, actually. They're good, they're fun characters to draw. I really like the Naruto characters. They've got really, really good character design. And, like, they're very drawable, these characters. Mostly because the animation was shocking in Shippuden. I can use my imagination to draw a lot of the characters in Shippuden. Yeah, I was anyway, the whole point of that story, going back again, oh god, I keep getting distracted. My brain is like all over the place, and all I'm doing is drawing lines on a page. Yeah, so trying to find Naruto to watch in the UK is impossible. There is nowhere to watch it legally, and I refuse to watch it illegally. And it's just impossible. There's nowhere to watch it. It's not on any of the streaming sites. It's on Crunchyroll, but it's on Crunchyroll subbed. And as I said, I generally draw when I'm watching anime, so it's difficult for me, who doesn't speak any, Japanese, to multitask like that. So try to find it dubbed is really, really hard. I had the exact same thing. So my friend who was telling me to watch it, he says watch it, and you're really, really, really going to like Jiraiya. Well, he actually said you're really going to like Kakashi first, because Kakashi being the sexy character, I draw sexy characters. But he said, like, personality wise, you are going to love Jiraiya, because he is a great character. Like, there's no if buts or maybes. He is a fantastic character. And I was like, oh great, I'll look out for him. And then, when I was watching it, and I was texting him saying, oh, this guy is so funny, he's a really, really cool character. And he was like, keep watching. So when that episode came, all I texted him, I just picked up my phone and texted him, fuck you. I was very upset. Oh. My cat, I got such a fright. I don't know if you heard that on the microphone, but my cat just gave me such a fright. But yeah, so whenever this friend tells me, oh, you're really going to like this character, I'm like, am I going to like them? Am I going to like them too fucking much? And generally, he's only done that to me twice. He absolutely did. That's a character I actually haven't drawn yet. I mean, a lot of like, I generally draw my characters in the kind of more sexy poses and things like that, and I don't think Jiraiya, I mean, to be honest, he would probably enjoy that if I did. Pervy man. But yeah, I don't know if he would suit my style. Oh, right. So yeah, I'm desperately trying to find ways to watch Naruto again. My friend had season 1 of Shippuden that they've given me as a loan to watch, so fantastic. I'm really excited to watch that. But I need to look forward and find where I can watch it, because finding a lot, really any anime in the UK is just hard. If you're not willing to go the illegal way. Which I work in a law office. I'm not going that way. Does it? Is that Netflix UK? Because if that's Netflix UK, I am on that. I'm actually using my ex's Netflix, so... But if that... Oh, please, for the love of God, tell me it's UK Netflix. Because UK Netflix sucks. For a lot of other things. Yeah, so I kind of... I want to get a VPN, because I actually don't have one. I probably shouldn't say that online, but I don't have one. But it would probably be very helpful for that kind of thing. But it's good to know it's in the Canadian one. So I'm sure that's legal. I mean, it's pretty much in like, what's the really popular one? The VPN Nord, I think. That's like in their pitch. Oh, you can watch, you know, things from other countries. So it must be legal, right? And that is going to be my defense. It's actually really hard getting a lot of stuff in the UK. Especially when like any anime comes out and stuff. Generally, we wait so long to get it over here. Because I know that there's some anime like on Funimation that I can't get to, which sucks. So there are certain sites that I used to use that I can't get access to anymore, thanks to my internet provider, which probably a VPN would help with that as well. But no, the site that I used to use before I was working where I am working is no longer operational. It was a great website, but it is no longer operational, unfortunately. Those types of sites are probably good if I can get the VPN, because my internet provider does it blocks it, like any sites like that, which is unfortunate. But if you so happened to send me like a message or something that happened to have a website in it, then if I open it, you know, it is a bitch. There's no getting around that. The internet providers are bitch. It's probably the best one in the UK though, for like internet speed and that, which I used to date someone who had a terrible internet connection, and then they switched over to this provider, and honestly, see, before that, try to play online games, try to watch anything, try to just do anything online, fucking sucked, because you've got like, there's very few like good internet providers here, and I do have like the better one, that gives a good speed. And downloading games takes no time at all. It is. I actually looked at moving out of the UK. I was looking to move to Dallas, or Fort Worth anyway. I went to Fort Worth and I absolutely fell in love with it. I absolutely just adored Texas. And I looked to actually move over there. But it was a lot. There was a lot. But that was my dream at one point. I actually remember sitting in the airport to come home from Texas and just about like in tears because I just didn't want to go home. But there's a lot of things. Like, you know what? The UK's not terrible. I have free healthcare. There's a lot of things about Canada that is not pussies at all. I've never been to Canada before. It is one of those places that at one point I will probably want to visit. But I think just now my kind of priorities for travel is going to be Japan, obviously, weeb. Yeah. And Norway is somewhere that I'm still on the fence of whether or not I want to go to Norway. I've been learning Norwegian to go there for an extended holiday. Yeah. Japan. It's just, I mean, you can't not. And to be fair, I've always had like a love of kind of Japanese culture. My dad worked in Japan for a while, and he came back and he had like all the stories and stuff from being over there, and instant, I was just obsessed with it because I had never heard of Japan at this point in my life when I was so young. It's an absolute dream. There's a shop in the UK. I don't know if it is just UK or not. The shop's called Sex, but it's like CEX. And in there, it's a second-hand kind of. You can buy games, you can buy consoles, movies, all that sort of stuff. And I remember going in there and they were playing the Final Fantasy VII boss theme, and I was like, oh, I'm in my place, man. I would love that. There has actually been a couple of times where I've walked into my office and I've left my music playing and it's disconnected from my headphones and it's just playing on my phone and it's just like some anime that's just like blaring out my headphones. Great. But no, I remember going into Sex that day and it was just like that the Final Fantasy, it was like the full soundtrack that it had on, and then whilst I was in there they changed it and it was the Death Note soundtrack they had on, and I was just like, this is my store, because it generally is like nerds that work in there, and nerds like nerdy things. I apologise if you can hear my cat in the background. She's I don't know what she's doing, but she's doing something. But no, I can imagine if you were living somewhere like Japan that just constantly plays, that would it would give you a headache hearing that all the time. But it's definitely somewhere that I really want to go, is Japan. And again, not just for the anime side of things. Obviously, if I'm going there, I'm going to visit Akihabara, sorry. 100%. But I also want to visit like much more. Try to figure out the best time to go as well. Obviously not the summer, because I've heard the summers are torture in Japan. But I think the autumn, like the fall, I think sounds like it would be a good time to go. From what I've heard from people that have either been or obviously I watch videos of people being in Japan as well. I don't want to see that because I tried to learn some Japanese, and when I say I tried to learn Japanese, I did the whole Duolingo thing. Oh. Why are you doing that? Stop it. Oh dear. technical difficulties. There we go, that's better. That was really, really weird. Yeah, I tried the whole Duolingo Japanese thing. I didn't know how much of a terrible reputation it actually had for being horrible for learning Japanese. But if I knew some Japanese, I would probably try and watch some of it, because I've heard that there's a lot of like really amazing anime that you can only enjoy in Japanese. So in that sense, yes, I would love to watch shows, but not be able to understand it, I feel is a bit of a downfall. Or is that kind of why you want? Obviously I don't know much about yourself, but do you speak Japanese, or is it just a kind of turn off the subs and just guess what the hell they're talking about? I do that with Norwegian stuff when I try to watch some Norwegian things to just learn a little bit more of the language. So I'll watch something in Norwegian and it's still sitting there going, I have not got a clue what you just said. Excuse me, my throat's getting a little bit funny. Is it something that you would be interested in doing, is learning Japanese, or is it, are you very much like most people when you see it and just go, nah? Because that's what I was like when I tried to learn it. It was funny as well actually, on Duolingo, it did like, oh, here is this word and here is this word, and it was like very basic stuff. And then it went from like 0 to like full ass sentences. And I'm like, you didn't teach me sentence structure yet. I don't know how to do this. Yeah. It's something that I would love. Do you know, actually, that's like, do you know when people talk about like, oh, what superpower would you like? Would you like to teleport? Would you like to fly? Would you like to this? No. See, for me, I would love to be able to speak, or at least, probably speak and understand, like, all languages. Because can you just imagine, not just for the Japanese side of it, the Japanese side of it is a huge part of it, being able to, like, again, watch shows that you would never have been able to watch before because of, like, translation issues and things. Be able to speak to people as well. Just walk, like, into a random bar in Japan and be like, yo, I want to talk. It'd be awesome. That's probably not how I would, approach someone. I wouldn't approach someone like that in English. Definitely wouldn't approach someone like that in Japanese. Yeah, and it's like, if you say things in a different, like, tone, it means something else as well. And I know that we have some ways, like pronunciation in English, like read and read, are like the same to look at, but it's like, it's just pronounced differently. But in Japanese, it's like if you just say like the wrong like inflection at the end, it will mean something totally different. I love that shit. It's like, it's such an interesting language, because like on what they did do quite well on Duolingo, I feel, is they would like, towards the start, like the earlier lessons, they would, and they do it in Norwegian as well, they give like a little bit of background on what you're learning and things. They stopped doing it like later in the lessons, which I find really weird, because the harder it gets, you would think you would need more information. But sorry, I'm going to itchy nose. I'm really interested in the language. It's just hard. Which is probably why I'm quite happy with Norwegian, because Norwegian is generally quite easy to learn. There's a lot of words in Norwegian that kind of come from, like, English and Scottish as well. It's like in Scotland, we call our, like, children bairns, is what we call them. And in Norwegian, the word for child is barn. So the Norwegian's definitely easier if you if you ever want to learn a language. Although what is it French that kind of, because there's quite well, I don't really know all that much about Canada, but I know there's obviously speaking English, but is it also French as well there? Because I know like in the UK, it is like, yeah, French. Oh, you do speak French, that's awesome. Because I don't know all that many Canadian people. My mum's fiance has family who were in Canada for a while and they spoke about it. So that's kind of my knowledge of Canada, comes from the stories that I hear other people talking about. But yeah, in the UK, we were always like, in school, it was either French or German that you took. And nobody that I know remembers anything. That is the song that keeps on getting copyrighted. That was just on, so I've just changed it. But yeah, it was like, oh, you either speak French or you speak German, or you learn French or German. They did an exchange program with China for a while as well, so there was a few students that got to learn Mandarin if they were going to China. It was a lot of money, so my family couldn't afford it. But yeah, apart from that, it was like, we didn't get taught a lot of languages. There's obviously like, nowadays there's like quite a big like Polish community in Scotland, or at least like round about where I am. There's a really, really, really big Polish community, and I think the school that I went to, the high school that I went to, are offering. I think they're offering Polish, or it might just be like a personal tutor. I'm not sure. I know that there's a couple of students anyway that are learning Polish. I don't think I can sound pissed off when I'm speaking. Do you know what? I absolutely can. I'm Scottish. In Scotland, I feel like Scottish is a very aggressive accent. Even if you're not being aggressive, it still sounds aggressive. Yeah, Scotland forever, bro. I called you bro, if that's actually your name, on here anyway. But yeah, I feel like Scottish is a very aggressive, like, accent. Even if you're not trying to be aggressive, there's still a lot of times where you end up being aggressive by accident. I've always worked in legal firms for the longest times. I did like 2 years or something, like in this takeaway place. And that was like on the phones. So I've always had this like, this phone voice. When I speak to my friends, I don't speak as like clearly and slowly as this. And it's funny, whenever I get a Scottish person in my chat, I go like full Scottish with the accent. But I do try and keep my phone voice when I've got people in my chat that aren't from Scotland. I remember actually when I went to America and I met one of my buddies over there, and when I first met him, chatting away quite normally, just like as you would, you know, with a new person that I've spoken online obviously, but I hadn't like met him in person, and so I was using my phone voice to speak to this person for the first time, and we had been in the like, spent like the whole day together, and it was like after like 4 or 5 hours I started getting more into my like very, very, very Scottish accent, and this guy was like, you'll have to say all that again, I actually don't know what you're talking about. Generally my accent is a little bit more posh. I speak fast, like when I get like when I really, really get a bit passionate about something, I get really, really fast, and a lot of people at that point, they can't understand me because I'm speaking too fast, and my accent gets a little bit stronger when I do that too, so I generally speak a little bit slower. And it's when I start like tripping over my words, that's when I know that I'm starting to speak a bit too fast. So that's where the real like Scottish accent start coming out, is the speed of how we talk. I don't know if you've ever really hung around with a lot of Scots, but it gets like that. Oh my god, hi Olaf. What are you doing over there? Silly cat. But I'm not like when you... Have you not? Well, I'm on camera. It's different when you're speaking to a Scot. I'm like, you'll see like when I'm talking, I do gesture a lot with my hands. When you're in person, it's like elbows everywhere. And I am not the only person who does that. I have many friends that also accidentally elbow everybody when they're talking. Yeah, so when I say like when I get passionate about something, so when I get like really if I'm really into what I'm talking about, like generally when I talk about anime, when I talk about Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, when I talk about that with my friends who can definitely understand me, even they sometimes have a bit of difficulty because you do start to speak faster, you do start to like mix the words in amongst each other quite a lot of the time, miss out many syllables. But it's the same when a Scottish person gets angry. They go like this. It's really weird. When I get angry, so I have this quite like bass conversational accent, which again is kind of my phone voice. It's a little bit more posh. Where I'm from as well, in the central of Scotland, it's a little bit more, I want to say like posh accent compared to other places. But then you go into Glasgow, and they call it like Glasgow, and you know all Scottish like accents get really heavy, especially if they're angry. So when I'm like on stream and stuff like that, I won't say words like "what are you doing," because there's a lot of people that don't know what that means. I mean, there are legal drugs in Canada, so I don't know. I'd be inclined to believe that. In Scotland, people don't care if drugs are legal or not. They just take them all anyway. There's a very big like drug culture in Scotland. It's very difficult to find someone who didn't do shit tons of drugs when they were growing up. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that I wouldn't say on stream, just for the fact that it's over the world. People don't know, like, again, taking that for example, what you doing? I am also a little bitch when it comes to that. So growing up, my friends were all like really into that sort of stuff. And it's like as a teenager, like as a young teenager, it was like, oh, I'll try some stuff. But like, me and my best friend, her name's Tony, she's fantastic, she's the most wonderful person in my life. Neither of us were really into that. Number one, because we were both little bitches, and it was like, but what will happen if something goes wrong? So we never went down that route, whereas like a bunch of the friends that we hung about with did. So that's one of the reasons why we became so close, is because they started going down that route and we decided to go our own way. But there is a huge drug culture, and especially like round about where I'm from as well. And in fact, where I live specifically, I live round the corner from one of the most kind of druggy areas in Grangemouth. Not the best place. My mum didn't care about that sort of stuff. I think she was more bothered about like drinking. because drinking, again, is a very strong culture. And I mean, in Scotland in general, in the UK, there is a very, very big drinking culture. You go anywhere, like, oh, I'm going out for dinner, oh, we're having drinks. And I mean, I'm literally sitting with vodka right now. It's very tasty. But, well, here's something to put into perspective. I've broken my right foot twice. So once on one of the top part of my foot, and then I broke my ankle last year. Not last year, like December before, because the cat that is sitting right in my feet right now tripped me up down the stairs, and I fell and broke my ankle. But the first time was because my sister decided to get me drunk when I was in high school. I had my boot, like my cast on, when I went into high school because my sister had got me drunk. I mean, generally, I don't drink as much anymore, but not because of worries or anything like that. It's just so damn expensive to go out. I mean, I don't know how money is like in Canada just now, but like in the UK, there's such a crisis for money. Like, everything is so expensive. So generally it's like a couple of drinks in the house will be fine. But that's the only reason I'm not drinking as much. There is literally no other reason. Is it housing? Yeah. Housing's actually okay here. They've been building a bunch of houses, like close by where I work. So the housing's generally okay, but I mean, poverty is just, people have the houses, they just don't have any food or anything for the houses, which I guess is still a pretty privileged position. But it's not the best in the UK just now. I am intrigued about Canada though. Not so much about the cold. I don't like the cold. Right now in Scotland, where am I? It's currently at 0 degrees Celsius right now, in Scotland, and I can't handle that. It goes down to like -7, and that is like, that's my hard limit. Ah, right. Yeah, because there's not like as much of an immigration process for Canada, is there? I remember when I was looking at Texas, like the immigration process was like, it was like try to break into frickin' NASA or something. It was just like, there was so much that you had to do to move to the States. So is it a little bit easier for Canada? Or is there like a, I mean, you might not know that, but because I know that I haven't a clue what the visa process is for getting into the UK. Yeah. So no, I have heard it's a little bit easier to transition into Canada than it is into the States. But yeah, when I was looking at moving to Fort Worth, it was there was a lot, or more like there was very few ways to do it. Well, I feel like if you got like a good immigration lawyer to help you out, it would be easier. I didn't. So that's why I'm still in Scotland. Freeze my butt off. I guess I can't really talk about being cold here when you're there. Oh, I can feel my hand getting crampy. Yeah, I can absolutely say you're definitely on ice cream. I didn't know how cold Canada was. This is really quite embarrassing to admit. So I knew about Canada, and all I knew about Canada is that where it was in the world. I didn't know anything else about Canada, apart from the South Park movie. And that's absolutely terrible, I know. But that was all I knew about Canada, was that it was where it was on the map. And then I played Plague Inc. Evolved on my phone, and they were like, obviously, I don't know if you played Plague Inc. Evolved, but you have like a bacteria or a virus and you have to infect the world. And Canada was so hard to infect if you didn't have the cold like resistance on it. And that was the only reason that I know that it's cold in Canada. But it was one of those things that I just never had to know it when I was growing up or anything. That's embarrassing to admit. I have since, got a little bit more of an interest in, and well, not just in Canada, but just in like foreign places in general. I mean that just happens when you get older. So what like right now in Canada, where you are, what's the temperature? Do you use Fahrenheit or are you Celsius in Canada? Because I absolutely... Fahrenheit baffles me. I feel like it baffles a lot of people. Like in the UK, 0 is freezing. Is 100 boiling? I'm sure 100's boiling. But 0 degrees that's freezing. Underneath that, it's freezinger. That's not a word. I might actually have to stop doing this here. It's something that takes the longest in a drawing for me, but the effect once it's done always looks like so much better. It just hurts. -1 Celsius. Oh, I'm about as cold as Canada here. I can officially say that. I can officially say, man, it's as cold as Canada in Scotland right now. I'm kind of glad that I don't live somewhere that gets that, because I know that you get it like, I mean, is it like -40 or something that it gets to in some places in Canada? Because I could not handle that. I know that when my mum went with her fiance to see like his family, they went over and it was like that. So maybe I'm thinking -40 Fahrenheit then. -20 is still like horrifying to me. I think the coldest that I've ever had is -9, which to me was just like hell. It was so cold. I'm a very warm person. I really like warm. -20 though. Jeezy peeps. But no, I think that is the coldest was like -9 or something, and that was in 2010. And I can tell you it was in 2010 because I worked in Edinburgh at the time, and it was damn cold. Let's see where I am with this. What? -36. Oh my god! I remember someone talking about like -40 at some point. So maybe that's where they were talking about. That is brutal. I think my ears are giving me a sore head today. I might have to take these off. Oh. Yeah, I'd say like if I was to go for either -1 or -36, I'd definitely take -1. If I had to like live with one for the rest of my life, I feel like -1 would be better than -36. Although, yeah, fuck that. Although I would say when it gets hot in Scotland, it's like 24 degrees. That's when it's hot in Scotland. Um, right, do I want to continue doing some of Tifa? Or do I want to go and do some Juvia? No, I bet you wouldn't, like, um, how cold does Scotland get? Let's Google it. How cold does Scotland get? That's not what I want to know. Maximum temperatures are minus what? Oh right, I'm looking at this, and it's telling me that the coldest it gets in Scotland is -27, but that is the coldest on record. It's, and that'll be somewhere up in the Highlands. I can absolutely guarantee you. The Highlands are definitely more brutal for their heat. Like it's always colder up in the Highlands. So it's like a very popular place for people to go and visit because the Highlands are beautiful. There's no if buts or maybes about that. The Highlands are stunning, but it can get cold. And I know there's a lot of people that go to the Highlands for holidays and stuff. I did as well. I went up to Inverness, which is like quite north in Scotland. Um, Jesus Christ. My watch, I've got a Garmin watch, it's sitting over there and it just like made the biggest buzz I have ever heard in my life. I think it's dead. So yeah, the Highlands are gorgeous, but they do get cold. But it can also get really, 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 really hot. I remember when I went to Inverness, I went up in like the June, and we needed like our jackets and stuff because it was cold. But it also got really, 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 really hot for a couple of days. I wasn't a big fan of Inverness actually. It's not that one. This one? Right, this one. I can feel my concentration brain coming back on again. It's like one of the problems with working on like a weeknight after work is my brain just eventually just goes, nah, I'm done. What? Do you know? It gets to the point with that you're like, is it worth it? I mean, I'm assuming that there is quite a lot of really, really fantastic places to visit in Canada and things like that as well. But I'm brushing off a lot of it because damn, I don't like the cold. Why are you not working? That's not a good thing. If your country is making you bleed from your nose. I think I made our hair like too voluptuous. Probably. I don't think I would want to get used to my nose bleeding from the cold. Although I guess it is something that you would get used to eventually. Time on hand. Cool. Plenty of time. I think I am going to move on and do some of Juvia. Because my hand is getting sore drawing Tifa. Because one of the biggest things I've got left to do on her is her hair. I mean, I could move on to the pillow, but I don't know. I don't want to move on to the pillow. I have so much left to do of Juvia. I'll just take 5 minutes to have a sip of my juice. It's so good. And it's in my favourite cup. Yeah, she's a lovely lady. I actually draw more, for someone who is totally straight, I draw a lot of sexy ladies. I draw more sexy ladies than I do non-sexy ladies. Or like, I don't draw that many guys either. Women are just more fun to draw. But yeah, this is our outfit from kind of Tartaros and the final arc. I've not quite finished her thighs yet. Don't look too close, they're not done yet. I'm trying to get like some of the angles right for the thighs. But yeah, she's thick. I wonder where I want to start. Might do some of her skirt. Might do some of her boot actually, because right now that's like one of the biggest like flat images on this drawing is like her boots and her skirt. I can tell you one thing I'm not doing, and that is her hair. Her hair's actually looking cracking, but I can't do more hair. If it wasn't gross, I would crack my hand into the microphone because it is so stiff from doing like all the lines of the hair. Right. Let's get into it. Juvia is definitely my favourite character. She's the best. She's funny. I like the fact that she's comic relief, but I also like the fact that she's epic as well. Actually, see, after having this conversation here, I need to go back and watch some more Fairy Tail. I need to. There's just... I've talked about it too much to not go back and watch it now. And I'm fine with that. I am so fine with that. Actually... I really should actually take some classes for drawing. You have absolutely cursed me. But do you know what? It is a curse that I am more than happy to have. It's definitely a comfort show. Like Fairy Tail. It is my comfort show. It's a show that, I don't know, if I'm in like a bit of a funk of what should I watch, what should I do, what should I draw, Fairy Tail. Juvia was one of the first drawings that I ever did. It is terrible. There's no proportions to it or anything like that, but god damn it, I enjoyed drawing Juvia. I have now drawn her. I drew her one of the first ever drawings that I done, and then I drew her in grey. I drew them together, which wasn't a great drawing, but I done them together. Have I drawn Juvia again? I kind of have a feeling that I've drawn Juvia again. My Facebook will tell me. Unfortunately, my friends on Facebook have to put up with all my drawings being uploaded. My drawings. I kind of feel like I've drawn her again. Oh yeah, first ever drawing, and then I drew another drawing of her, and then I done her in grey. Did I do a digital? Oh, I drew her as a police officer. Yeah, I've not drawn her since then. So I've done 4 drawings of Juvia. Maybe it's time to get a life, Becca. She's so fun to draw though. She's actually just a fun character. I'm actually really surprised to find out how many times I've drawn her. I didn't think I'd drawn her that much. Oh well. I like getting a character or like a person that does just have like a very fun. Because I mean, like one of the things that you look for when you're doing a drawing is this going to bring me joy? And if it does, then absolutely cracking. Which Juvia does bring me lots of joy to draw. And in fact, the ones that I've drawn the most are the ones that always bring me the most joy. Juvia is definitely one. Corpse is definitely one. I've drawn Kakashi twice. I've actually only drawn Levi once. But he brought me a lot of joy. What other drawings have I done quite a few times? Asuma. I've drawn Asuma Sarutobi quite a few times because he the best. Asuma. Yeah, also I've drawn quite a few times actually. I've drawn Hinata twice. I've drawn Reno from Final Fantasy VII 3 times. Done Jester twice from Critical Role. Done Todoroki twice. Oh no, I have drawn Levi twice. Yeah, so I generally have like these characters that I've drawn at least like 2 or 3 times that, I don't know, just like the type of character they are, or the if they're like my favourite character, or if they just have like a cool look to them. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy drawing Corpse, because I've drawn Corpse 3 times, is that it's such a unique look. It's really, really, really cool. Although, can I really say it's him? Because no one really knows what it looks like. My goodness, what just happened? Thank you very much for the follow. What on earth is that? I don't know what this little thing at the bottom here is. That gave me such a fright. Oh, it was really, really nice to speak to you, and thank you so much for the follow, and hopefully I'll see you in another one of my chats, because I talk a lot about anime, so have a really, really good time, and I'll check out those openings that you recommended as well, and I've got a couple of animes, thank you very much, to watch, so have a good time, and I will speak to you later. Right, I feel like I've done a bit too dark over here. because this is like, that's like the front of her thigh. I can feel myself like getting a little bit lispy. I've got like an ulcer right at the tip of my tongue, which is not very nice. I don't like, see when I'm seeing it down here, I don't like this. I think I'm going to just darken down a little bit of this more. They were a delight to talk to. That was very nice to talk to them. It's always nice to get a good chatter in the chat. I love you lurkers, I really do. But it is good to have a chat with someone. It's actually again one of the main reasons why I actually started streaming in the first place was to just like meet new people and talk to new people, because it's like a lot of fun in life. I thoroughly enjoy speaking to new people. And when it's from the comfort of my own home, it's even better. I actually don't know how that you get these people, like these YouTubers and things, that go out and speak to people in the street. I'm like, how? I'm shy. I'm shy and I'm quiet. I absolutely commend these people. Man, I'm getting a sore head. I've had a sore head for about 2 weeks now. It's been not very happy with my head. Okay, this line goes like, I don't like that. Let's get this fixed. That was really bad. So, if you don't know, I only put up this background like 2 weeks ago, I think it was. I put up the background, and I'm not used to it yet. So quite a lot of times I'll turn around and I will see, like, over here is like the edge of it, like the edge of the curtain, and I'll turn around and it looks like there's someone standing there at the peripheral, and it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. Ooh, someone's playing Hell Let Loose on my Steam. Good choice, bruh. I should probably stop saying bruh, considering there was someone in the chat called bruh. This playlist is so good. And I very, very much like this song. It just reminds me of fucking the Tom and Andy soundtrack for Resident Evil. So fucking good. Man, that was a good soundtrack. Films, let's not really get into the films too much. The soundtrack was banging though. That was for, they done Afterlife. What was the one that came after Afterlife? The fifth one, Retribution? Resident Evil 5 movie. Retribution, yeah. Terrible movie. Terrible movie. So that is one of the movies that I would probably say is a guilty pleasure of mine's, is the Resident Evil like series. I watch it often. It is one of those like movie series that if I'm in a Crabbit mood or something, I will sit down and I'll watch the Resident Evil movies, and what can I say? But they are, and Resident Evil 1 was pretty good. They, again, talking about the movies, Resident Evil 1 was pretty good. It was like that kind of like close quarters, fantastic, like horror for, I think it was like 2002 or 3 or something that came out. That was great. I loved the first Resident Evil movie. Second one was also pretty good, the one that had Jill Valentine in it and Carlos. I mean, as a straight woman, Carlos was my favourite part of that movie, I would have to say. But it was a great character as well. But you know, oh, what's his name? What is the guy's name that plays him? Carlos. Resident Evil movie. What is his name? Him. Oded Fair, who was also in The Mummy. Other films as well, actually, that I really, really enjoy. I mean, The Mummy 1 and 2, like, everyone says, sexual awakening. And they're right. But, yeah, say what you want about, I mean, 3 was fine. 4, that's when it started to go downhill for me, really, was when 4 came out. Not the worst film that I've ever seen in my life. Definitely not the best film I've seen in my life. It was okay. 5 destroyed me. I couldn't watch 5. Me and my sister went to the cinema to see 5. But actually, it was the first film I ever saw in 3D. And it was not great. It wasn't a good experience. But yeah, so say what you want about the actual films. However, the soundtrack. Tom and I did a great job with the soundtrack. I have spoke about them before here because it's good. The soundtrack, not the film. I kind of feel like there'll be a little bit more shading like down here. Anyway, it was like speaking to bro in the chat there. That was like talking about anime soundtracks. I'm a very, very, very big fan of anime soundtracks. You'll hear me quite a lot of times if I am talking about an anime, I will always refer to its soundtrack as well. I'm not like, hello cat. I am not like hugely musical, and in fact I am tone deaf to the yazoo. I absolutely can't. I can't sing, I can't play instruments. I tried at one point, didn't work. Yeah, we change this. Yeah, so I tried to be musical at one point, didn't work. I sucked. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? So yeah, I did try to be musical. It didn't work. I'm terrible with musical things. However, I like listening to a lot of musical stuff. Are you okay, cat? What's up? She just got the biggest fright of her life for no reason. Are you okay? Oh. Come here. So, this curtain behind me is like a double layer. So you've got the one that you see, and then there's a layer behind that, and then the lights are behind that. And there's a cat that's in between the two curtains, and then my other cat got like a massive fright when she saw her, because I think she didn't expect her to be there. That was really funny. It was really funny to me. I don't think Olaf liked it. The cat that got a fright. All I'm doing right now is just making her thicker. That's all I'm doing. I don't think anyone will complain though. I feel like her thighs, like I feel like her legs are like short compared to the rest of her body. Or is it just that her head is too high up? I think her head might be too far up. Do I have I don't have the head in like a layer. What's this? What's that? There's face, details, hair back, hat. Right, all of this. Let's see if it is just that her head's too high up. Maybe not as far down? No, it's not that. Maybe her legs are just short. And I think the boots do make her legs look shorter anyway. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, don't crash, don't crash. Please don't crash. I never had problems with Krita crashing on me. Until I started using the new one. It's not recognising like anima. It's not recognising my mouse. What the fuck? Oh, god damn it. That's annoying. Well, we're over here for a second till I sort out my technical difficulties. I mean, we're actually almost at the 3 hours, to be honest. And it's a school night for me, so I'll probably not be on for too much longer. I have a really sore head for some reason. Right, it's working now. That was close. I've got a scene set up for games. Which, by the way, I will be doing games at some point on this channel. Just I'm trying to figure out the logistics of getting that done. But I've got it set up just now, and it's just a screen capture. You don't get a screen capture. You get anime titties instead. Oh, my back's cracking. I went to the gym for the first time in like a month last night. Not just the gym. I went to the gym, and then I also I've not been taking I have an inhaler because I have asthma. I've not been taking it recently. I know, it's terrible. Ooh, that looks better making that just that tiny little bit bigger. Let's like, hold on. Does it? Let's get back to that. I actually have a really sore head now. I think I've had like this, like a head cold or something. You can actually see like the bags under my eyes that I've, like where I've not been sleeping. So I think I'm actually just going to leave this at the 3 hour mark. I actually prefer streaming a little bit longer on, you know, my Saturday streams generally are the kind of longer ones because it's a Saturday. I get to wake up later. I generally nap before the stream as well. I've got plenty of time to just relax for the day. So when I started streaming, my Saturday streams tend to be like 5 or 6 hours long. And recently, because of this sore head, let me take these off. That's not helping at all. Do you know what's not helping at all? This. Oh wow, my camera like freaked out there. But yeah, so the last like few weekends, I've had like a really sore head. It's been annoying. I don't like having a sore head. Do you know what will make everything better though? What's it called? Not this one. This makes everything better. Oh. I think I am just going to leave it here for the evening. And I'm going to go and either I'll watch Jujutsu Kaisen, because I'm really, really not all that far through it. I actually don't know how many episodes are in the season. Let's go back to funny. Hello, cat. I don't know why it's locked me out on my PC. Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's see how many episodes are in there. Oh, 24 episode arcs. Banging. That's what, 23 for season 2? Banging. Banging. Love it. So I don't know if I want to watch more Jujutsu Kaisen or if I want to watch some more Trash Taste. I actually sat, so I actually found Trash Taste, which I feel like I should have found them earlier because I'm a weeb, like, of course. But I used to watch Giguk years ago, and I want to double check something just to make sure that I am thinking the right thing, because if it's not the right person, then I'm going to sound really, really stupid. It is. Okay, so Giguk done Attack on Titan in 9 minutes, which to this day is probably my most watched video on YouTube. Every single time me and my sister sit down and watch Attack on Titan, we have binge nights quite often. I've just realised I've not got Luna sitting here tonight. Oh, poor little bat. So yeah, I would watch. We would watch Attack on Titan season 1, 2, 3, however many seasons were out at the time, and we would then, it's like to end the night, we would watch Attack on Titan in 9 minutes. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. I love Attack on Titan. I really, really do. Yeah, I know, total fucking normie, but it's amazing. I love it so much. So much that I got the tattoo on my back, so, you know, what else can I say about it? But the Attack on Titan in 9 minutes is just so funny. Every single time we watch it, we just have such a laugh at it. So yeah, I feel like I should have probably found Trash Taste much, much sooner, because I followed Giguk before, like, for ages. But I've not been, like, I think they started it like 3 years ago or something. It was like during COVID-ish, and I've not been on like Twitter where I followed them, like, so yeah. But I feel like I really should have caught that before. It's so funny. I feel like I went back into this, like, I watch an episode and I'm sitting there with my, like, if I'm watching it on my phone or I'm watching it on the TV or in my bed or something, I'm like, I think that's enough internet for one day. Some of the stuff they talk about, and I've been watching like their individual channels as well, and I just get into this little, like, this little bubble of, what am I doing in my life that I'm watching this random person stripping on a pole? Right, I am going to end this today for now. I've really got a sore head. I'm going to go drink some more water. I'm going to take some paracetamol. Oh, hi cat. And I'm going to love my cats, and I'm going to watch some fabulous media, whether it's going to be Trash Taste or if it's going to be, there is a hentai episode that I really, really want to watch. I didn't realise there were 2 hentai episodes, so I need to watch that. And I think they also did, I think Joey and Connor both did like tier lists for that as well, so I want to go watch those. I feel like it's too late at night to watch Jujutsu Kaisen because I'll just get into it and I'll just watch it. Whereas with a podcast, you can kind of just put it down whenever you want to. Anyway, I'm going on a big rant here. I want to go. My next stream will be on Saturday. I really, really, really hope that there will be a thing out on Friday. I have a lot of stuff to do this week. I recorded a vlog which was supposed to go up on Friday last week, but the whole footage was corrupted, and when I went into my Adobe Premiere Pro to try and export it again, it couldn't find the file because the file was corrupted. So that whole thing was done. I couldn't use it, so I'm very upset about that. And my next speed drawing is coming out next Friday, so I'm hoping to get something up this Friday. So because I'm wanting to upload like a weekly new like YouTube only episode, so, or video. So I'm hoping to do that something for Friday. I don't know what it's going to be yet. It's Wednesday right now. I kind of have tomorrow to do it. Yeah, that's not happening. I want to be more consistent and not take 3 years off. Right, guys. I have had a blast tonight. It was really, really fantastic talking to bruh in the chat. And thank you so much for my lurkers. I absolutely fucking love you guys. So yeah, I hope you had a good time, and I will speak to you guys hopefully on I'll be here on Saturday. If you want to be here on Saturday, I would very much appreciate that. You can also follow me on all my socials, which will be coming up in my ending scene, which has a banging tune as well if you want to listen to that. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you on Saturday at 7:30 p.m, where I will hopefully not have a sore head. Have a good rest of your week, guys, and I will see you later.